It's nice to begin in a non-comfortable chair. We sit in so many quote unquote comfortable chairs a lot of the day, and actually we don't really get our support for at the base of our core, which is our pelvic floor area, right? A floppy chair, the muscles there turn off. But with a non-comfortable chair, meaning, this sort of chair, I mean, there is a bit of padding, but never mind that too much. But the simple act of shifting your weight side to side and being able to kind of lift your bottom a little bit is already like an ignition to the foundation of your core, and that's your pelvic floor. And you may say, well, I'm just shifting the weight, but can you also try and retract like your sitting bone inside you? And then you can take yourself for a little walk. I like the background there. Is that Catherine? I like your background. You have a lovely spring background. We can take a walk by just in the chair, sauntering your sit bones on a beautiful spring day. How about that? And it is a beautiful day here. All right, then you can take that to let the position be a little wider and circle out. And maybe, again, I'm drawing your attention to your sitting bones with a weight shift from one to the other. And I'm also picking up the sitting bone. You don't have to, but if you can, lift your butt a little bit. When I say sitting bone, if you're not sure what that is, let's go the other way. Think of just, I'm lifting the bony part of my butt from the chair. Fantastic. Now let's see if that has kind of got us up into a position where we can sit more comfortably with our own natural core support without the back of the chair. I hope that that's giving you a little bit of that. Okay, then we can arrive and bring our attention to breath and put our hands to the heart and to the belly and see if we can feel our breathing move our rib cage. If it's moving your rib cage, your breath is also moving your belly a little out as you breathe in and back in as you breathe out. And as we center with breathing, perhaps we can embrace a beautiful spring feeling within us. So an inner spring harmony that is fresh, alive, and blooming. Super. Relax your arms gently back onto your lap, and we'll move our spine. And I'm going to sit just to the side. You don't have to sit to the side. I'm doing this just to show what's happening a little in the spine. We'll begin with the neck. So breathing in, lift your chin up. And breathing out, bring your chin to your chest. And again, staying present with the feelings of stretch at the front of the throat and the back of the neck. A few more, just letting the breath initiate the movement. And feeling our neck flexibility range beginning to improve, I hope. Now let's start to add more of the spine. So as you breathe in, lift your heart as well as your chin. You'll feel perhaps the upper back muscles contract and the chest open. Exhale, feel your shoulders kind of round a little bit as your chin presses down. And again, feeling the neck and the upper back begin to move. And I'm even kind of sliding my hands forward as my chin goes down. So my hands move to the knees. And as I breathe in, the hands slide more toward the thighs. Let the breath guide the movement. Spring fresh. Let's see if we can get more of the spine moving further down the back. Can you arch a little more at the belt line? Lift your heart, your chin. Exhale, rounding in, rounding in. Can push the back in toward the chair. Inhale, let the chair up, push you forward. Exhale, push your back toward the chair. And two more, enjoying this lovely spinal awakening, spring fresh spine. Goody, goody. Let's sit up nice and tall and add a little bit more for this low back. So if you can, reach your knuckles toward your low back and give yourself a little rub into that, those lower vertebrae down in toward your pelvis. And usually when we do cat-cow, unless you're on all fours, this area doesn't get quite as much movement. So we're going to see if we can tilt your tail back and forth, and you can continue rubbing if that feels good. If it's uncomfortable on your arms, your shoulders, don't worry, you can stop that one and put your hands to your thighs. But I'm tilting so you feel you've got a narrow pelvis and then a wide pelvis. You can sense that. Super. And we can put the hands to the thighs and then really get the tail forward and the hands to the knees and really pull your tail forward, forward, forward. Then let's slide the hands toward the thighs and take your tail back, 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 back. Feel that lovely stretchy wide pelvis. Let's bring the tail forward. You're getting that low back moving. And then take the tail back. And one more, tail forward. And tail back. So we're getting all of the spine happy and satisfied, I hope. All right, so that's our flexion and extension. Let's do a little side bending. Shall we do a little of that? This is the reach for the newspaper. No, who has a newspaper? I don't know. Lots of people do still have a newspaper. Inky print fingers. Very nice. Anyone touching the floor? Maybe, maybe, maybe. Maybe one side's a little easier. I don't know. And hopefully we're all still enjoying our breathing. Great stuff. All right. Then we'll do our rotation. So we can do a little crisscross with the arms and just begin to rotate from side to side. So to keep this just in the spine, keep your legs and your feet pretty steady. And it should just be the spine. Not too much in the shoulders either. Definitely massaging our belly as well. Nice. All right, super. So that was pretty straightforward. It was very isolated, differentiating the spine. Now we're going to add a little bit more with the arms. So I think we've got to warm up the shoulders. So first of all, take a breath in and let the shoulders rise up. And exhale, let the shoulders float down, down, down. Lovely. Breathing in, up we go. Exhale, shoulders down. And notice like the head position here. So we're head nice and centered, and that'll leave either side of the shoulders nice and even in their muscular pull, right? Like head is to one side. We can do that actually. Why not do it? All right, so let's try that and see. If you tilt your head to the right and do the same exercise, does one shoulder hit the ear and the other doesn't? Like, oh yeah, it's true. Try that a couple of times. Okay, do the other side and try it. Oh yeah, one ear and shoulder have got closer contact. Now let's see if we can get equal, equidistant, and do the same thing. Breathing in, shoulders up. Exhale, shoulders down. And one more. And down. Lovely. Let's roll the shoulders. And what could you notice here in your body that's moving? So I'm going to say, can you feel your shoulder blades? And definitely feel my shoulder blades moving. But let's have a feedback about your collarbone. So we can take one hand and place it on the collarbone, your clavicle. It's a really long bone, a bit like a rowing oar, you know, in a rowing boat. So let's roll that shoulder and really letting the weight of it swing. So you're not really doing anything other than letting it swing. See if we can throw the arm all the way up, lengthened and relaxed on that side. Jolly good. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Put your hand on your collarbone. Just give a nice feel of your collarbone. Feel its length. Feel its boniness. And we'll roll the shoulder and say, well, I can feel my scapula move, my shoulder blade more at the back. But it's also your scapular, like movement that moves your collarbone. So we can feel a nice rowing, getting a little greasy in the shoulders. And then encourage a little bit of movement of the arm. So yeah, you can feel the collarbone move a little, but now we're moving the arm in the socket, and maybe you're moving the collarbone. Feel what you can feel. Okay, now we'll focus more on the arm range of motion. That's less your collarbone, more the arm in the socket. Hooray, hooray. We can change our direction. Lovely. Okay, super. Swing that arm a little bit. So feel the weight of the arm lengthen, releasing shoulder tension. That's super. All right, lovely. Relax that back down. Just observe shoulders. Are we comfortable in our shoulders? Not too bad. So, as we get older, a lot of people that I encounter, including my husband, have frozen shoulder issues. And I think that's pretty common with people as you get older. And I saw a really great video the other day addressing that, because you might feel limited in lifting your arms like this way or this way. But once you get to a certain point, it's a little uncomfortable. So I saw this video. I thought, actually, that's really good. It's similar to what we just did. So if you take your fingers to a shoulder or just bend the elbow, and let's say take the elbow a little forwards and do a circle. And the circle can start small, or it could get a little bigger. And we can breathe and enjoy. It has my range of motion here. So it's only a little movement. Let's do it in the other direction. Lovely. But then what if we did it out to the side and did the same thing? You could go higher or lower, depending on what your range will allow. And again, it'll feel a little different. We want that circulation in there, different angles, change your direction. Jolly good. And then go back. So your elbows back and do the same. Do a little circle here. So I can feel a definite pull of my pec muscles there. Ooh. And circle the other direction. Try a little higher. Ooh. Try a little lower. Then we'll take that arm back, take it back, stretch the fingers, turn the head the other direction. Anyone feel a pull through the hand, wrist, arm, shoulder, a little bit? So I'm even going to nod the head in agreement with myself. While I open and close the hands, so the fingers open and close while you give a gentle nod, pulling all of those fascial lines, waking it up. Great. Head to center, arm across the body. Let's stretch it in a little this way, turn the head. I like these stretches. They're nice for the neck and for the shoulders. And we can breathe. Enjoy that. Just a nice gentle breath on a beautiful spring day. What more do we want? All right, let it go. We're going to try that exploration on the other side. So your dominant arm, your non-dominant arm, it's going to be a different experience. That was my dominant. This is probably your dominant arm if we're mirroring. So you can take the fingers more or less to the shoulders and just begin a circle like a little in front of you. Explore the range of motion to your ability. So it could be small, it could spiral bigger. It could also spiral the other way. Breathing. And we can take it more laterally, like in a line with the shoulder. But hey, is it higher up or is it lower down? What would feel interesting? Draw some, I mean, if this were abstract art, could you imagine elbow paint, endless elbow paint drawing on a canvas? And explore the circle from behind. Like, oh, I can feel that's a different, completely different sensation in my arm, my shoulder. Change your direction. Woohoo. Okay, now we've got the arm back a little bit. Could we take the arm back, turn the head the other way, and maybe give a gentle nod so we're getting into the neck tissues a little. And the line from your fingers to your neck, it's actually a very important line to open. So if you open and close your fingers, you'll probably feel that little pull, not just in your hand, but going up your arm and even towards your neck. Maybe you're able to nod and open and close your hand as well. Such multitasking. And breathe. Super. Bring it back to center, wrap the arm across your body, hug it in, turn your head to look over your shoulder. And let's enjoy a breath or two together, feeling your lung underneath your arm moving as you breathe. Puff it up and let it down. Super. Release. I think we've warmed the shoulders up a lot more now, a lot more, that we can, lift the arms up overhead. Shall we try it? Nice breath in. Exhale, arms float down. Inhale, reach it up. Maybe you look up as well. Exhale, arms down, look down. Inhale, arms rise up, looking up. This time we're going to fold it down as far as you can go. Whoa. Take a breath here, it's nice. The more we do something, the body and the mind get used to it. So we'll do this a few times. Breathing in, rising all the way up, looking up to. Exhale, folding smoothly at the hip crease. Ready to inhale, coming up, looking up. Exhale, folding and looking down. Is it getting a little easier? Very good. We're going to come up, but this time just lift the right arm all the way up and over. Exhale, bring that arm down. Again, same thing, breathing in, up and over, and maybe we side bend a little more. So now we're reaching for the newspaper and putting something on the shelf at the same time. We are clever today. Release it down. Inhale, arm floats up and we side bend. And can we do it? Exhale, bring it down. Let's try one more, but we'll hold the next one if you can. Bringing it up. Hold, and a little movement for the neck. Breathing in, looking up. Breathing out, looking down. And breathing in, looking up. And breathing out, looking down. Let's just look up. Hold. Push into your chair a little bit to bring you back. Right. Wow, we did it. So much lovely opening into the side of the ribs. I want the other side too. Let's do it. So breathing in, let the other arm float up. And let it float down. Float up like a feather. And we do a little bit of side bend as well. Feel the stretch on your ribs. Bring it down. Breathing in, reaching it up. Maybe now we're reaching a little further in the side bend. And bring it down. Let's try it again, see if we can get a little more fingers toward the floor. Maybe. Wow. And back down. This one will hold to wherever you can. Hold. And then see if you can also add a little turn of the head up. And turn of the head down. And the head turns up. And down. Give a little push of your butt into the chair, a little firing of the leg too to bring you up. So nice. All right. A roll of the shoulders. Everything okay in there? I hope that's okay. Let's add some spinal movement with the arms in a twist. Very simple. Reach forward with one arm, back with another. Now, if we glue our butt to the seats, that's going to be a lot more spinal movement. But we can, it's not that there's a right or wrong here. There's infinite ways of moving. We could do this to different levels. Or we could add a movement of your butt on the chair and swivel on your feet. That's all possible. Isn't that great? You're in the class that says everything you do is correct. Yay, I got 100% hold. No, that's not correct. I'll align you properly. No, your body knows what to do. Great. You're the best. All right. One more little reach. Great. And then we'll take that into a little bit of a stretch down into the hips. So we'll turn out to the left. You can hold the back of the chair and let this knee come down. So this is often tricky for people in the feet. Like, what should I do with the foot? Should I have my toes flat? Should I have a little flex in the toes? It's up to you. You can do what you like to accommodate. No, you can probably feel a bumpy bone here, but that's not your hip joint. Your hip joint is that groin crease that you're brushing over. And of course, this one is in typical I'm sitting all day mode. This one is now open. The hip joint is now, but we'll roll the shoulder again. I wonder if you can feel that that's starting to like pull a little down the ribs, down the abdomen and into the hip joint. Now we're going full throttle. If you can, lift that arm and lean over to the back of the chair while your knee draws down. It's magnetized to the floor. Anyone feel that? I feel that in the hip joint. It gives a nice stretch over the groin crease, which is where your hip joint is. Oh, lovely. Let's breathe it in and reach the fingers a little higher. Feel the pull. Oh. And again, reach the fingers. Press as if you're pressing into putty in the ceiling. Oh, I feel the pull in the hip joint. Who knew it? Lovely. Let's bring that down. Who knew it that elevating your arm will stretch into the hip joint? Well, it's true. So little measures at a time, turn the other way. See if you can draw your knee down. And already we're opening out here and you can give yourself a nice rub where select few go. I'm having afternoon tea. So we're sensing this is the hip joint, right? So if I were to lift my leg, that's where my hip joint is, right? That's the movement. Now it's a little stretched. Not here, that's the bone. There's lots of attachments for your hip joint that come here, but it's not your hip joint. We want to open here. How could we open even more to counteract sitting? Well, roll your shoulder, and I can feel that it's like pulling into my ribs. It's pulling into my abdomen. And we're really giving a stretch to what's called your psoas muscle, which is your hip flexor muscle. So if you're now able to lift your arm and lean a little bit, I bet you'll feel more of a pull into the groin crease now or to that area through your center. Add a little more juice by pushing your fingers toward the ceiling. Oh, I can feel that pull. Nice. And then I'm going to breathe. Feels good. Shall we let that come down? Let's do it. Let's do it. And come back into center. Yippee! Super. So we want to open that, but we want to stay strong in the core in general. That is your core, by the way, your hip flexors. So we're going to see if we can lift a leg. So well, that's your hip flexors. Very good. That's also quads. You can even tap your quads a little bit. But a lot of our lifting our leg, we want to come from the hip flexors. So, well, if we fold forward, we'll be folding at the hip flexors, right? Shall we do that? So let's come on up. And we're going to get up and down out of the chair, which of course, it's our hip flexors. It's our big, strong butt muscles. It's our quads, our hamstrings. It's everything, right? So this is up to you how you manage this, but I'm going to say, oh, let's slide our feet a little more under the chair, lean forward and push into your feet, and then see if you can lift your feet. So we've got a lot for the hip flexors to do here. Maybe you can sense that. When they're lifting your feet, that's your hip flexors are like, wow, and lift my feet. When you pick up, we're going to use, they'll be using strong hip flexors, glutes, all the stuff. And then for those, you can stick with this or any variation, or you could just relax and fold forward and breathe. It's up to you. Or you can get frisky, springtime fun with me and get all the way up and stand and go, that's so easy, isn't it? Oh, yeah, I'm headless chicken. Let's go back a little. All right. So how many times could we do this with a slow sit down? And a nice easy get up. Oh my gosh. So I haven't tried this, but somebody said, oh, you can do the 30. How many can you do this in 30 seconds? But you have to like put your hands over your chest so you're not using anything. We could do 5, couldn't we? In 30 seconds? No. I don't know, just now. So we do it. So we fold the hip joint, we straighten the hip joint. We fold the hip joint and we straighten the hip joint. Lovely. And we're up. And then action. Are you up and in action? Yeah. So we did lots of shoulder stuff, quite a bit for the spine, but we haven't really done masses for the hip joint, except where I've just thrown you in it now. Right. So if you can stand at your chair, actually, let's not touch anything and just shift the weight a little bit from side to side. Everyone can do that, right? Should be no bother, but the chair's there if you need it. And you can take this to town. You can do a little bumps the daisy, beach ball, from side to side. And then with a nice bend in your knees, you can hula hoop. We have all the toys. We have beach balls. We have toys with hula hoops. What's next? And you can circle the other way. And I'm bringing attention to the fact that your weight is now shifting on your feet. So we did that on the chair. We shifted the weight on the sit bones. Now it's on your feet. Maybe you can feel it. Ooh. All right, nice. Now we can hold on to the chair. And whichever leg is standing closest to the chair is your balance leg, okay? Because it's just closer, it makes life easier for you. Other leg, we're going to explore a hip joint. So if we lift this leg, and you can even put a hand in the crease here, and fold, and lower. And fold, and maybe you feel you're now getting a hand sandwich rather than a ham sandwich. We've got a hand sandwich. And can you feel like that's the crease, the fold, that's where the joint is going to be. So let's then take the leg back and we're going to stretch that zone. Little balance. Can we come up? Can we take it back and stretch? Now, for those who are feeling, wow, I could even maybe try this without holding the chair. I don't know. Maybe, but are you breathing? Breath. All right. Then we'll break it down and take the leg back and see if you can have the foot with the heel lifted. That'll give you a maximum turn of your hip forward. So your hip joints are now facing somewhat forward, somewhat. If you want to, lift up the same side arm and we're back to that lovely big stretch for your hip flexor. You don't have to hold on because if you wanted to, you could do a full high lunge, but only do that if you feel, oh yeah, I'm really steady and strong. So your back heel is lifted, your heel is facing straight back, and you're breathing and getting a nice stretch in your foot, I hope. All right, we're ready to come back to the balance. Woo! So let's hover with the leg. Your knee might just be a little in front here and toes touching or toes a little high. It's really up to you. But we're going to see if we can add a little to the balance. So you can touch or not touch here. It's up to you. Could you point and flex your foot? Oh, something new. You can smile as you do it. Could you circle your foot? Ooh. Could you circle the other way? Oh my gosh, so many things. And then you're welcome to hold the chair or not. Could you shake the leg and the arm even? Ooh. I'm going to shake my pants down. Superb. Okay, so a lot of things going on. Good for your nervous system to have variability. Good to train the muscles, the bones of this leg. Good to release a little on this leg and get flexibility. All right, so I think we should have a go the other side if you're ready. Are you ready for it? I have no idea what I just did. So, yeah, I do. It's a lie. So we want the balance leg near the chair, just so you feel secure. And at any time, hold the chair. Anytime, see, hip joint is where there's a crease and a fold and an unfold. Usually that's where the joint is, right? Where you fold and unfold. And we can breathe while we do that. And then see, well, could I take the leg back? And then could I fold the hip joint? Could I open the hip joint? Could I fold the hip joint? Let's keep it open a bit more because we fold from sitting all the time. This we don't do so much. So that nice psoas muscle, it's attached to the sides of your spine and then attaches to your leg. Now it gets a stretch. It'll get more of a stretch. Maybe we circle through the arm. And for those who'd like to, reach it up. And for those who'd like to, Reach up the other arm. You don't have to do any of those things. It's like a pizza topping. I like those. I don't like those. Breathing, though, is optional. That's the base, right? You feel the air moving in. You feel the air moving out. Enjoying the breath, enjoying your strength, your stability. Let springtime in. Sunshine, blossoms. All right, and with that springtime blossoms, let's do a little balance work. So you can bring the hands down, hold or not hold, and see, can you come up to balance? Ooh. So you decide, you can always have toes touching. You're still building bone strength, muscle strength. Or you could say, I can hold a chair. I cannot hold a chair. Okay, what about, does that change if you move your foot, like wag your foot, like you're waving to me? You still breathing? Can you circle your foot? Still breathing? Change the direction of the circle. Are you happy to be alive today? Yeah, why not? All right, down it goes. Hooray. I think we did pretty much the same things. So now we're just going to stretch the backs of the legs because, of course, again, when you're sitting in this position all the time, you're not stretching here. So our preliminary for that is to use the chair or a wall or a table. And I would begin with bent legs and a sticky out bum. And from that, you should have the curves of your spine just right. If you don't stick out your bum, you probably don't have the curves very nicely set up for good health. Won't kill you, but you know. Then you can begin to explore straightening the backs of the legs a little bit more. Good long exhale if you can. One more juicy breath. Great. Give a good bend to the legs and step it forwards. Da, 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 da. You did it. You did it. You did it. All right. A last little standing one to sort of release any tension, and then we'll just take a little restful moment in the chair. Allow your arms to swing while you do a little bounce in your knees. This is my like first thing in the morning kind of thing. And I know it's not first thing in the morning, but I'll do it again anyway. And especially if I want to go for a swim today, this is also my swim warm up. And then you can tick-tock the arms side to side. Mind you don't plunk into anything. And then we can do empty coat sleeves. So it's little swings, nice for your lymphatic systems. All systems go. Joints, muscles, fascia, blood flow, lymph flow. And this is a good lymph one. All right, lovely. And then notice your standing. How's your posture? How's your spine? How's your shoulders? Ready to sit down for a moment? I think we've got it. We've got a little time to be more restful and stretch it out. And if you have a strap or a scarf, I've got a very long, stretchy franking band here. It's my favorite. Don't have to have anything quite as long, but something that's long enough that you can reach and get your foot on board. All right, and once you've done that, we're going to fold the hip crease by lifting the knee and then stretch out the knee. Stretch out the knee by extending the knee. And you can sit up nice and tall here and feel a little more intensely this leg's stretch at the back of the knee. I encourage anytime you feel like, oh, I sense something, that you use touch. It's giving a lot more input to the brain, you know. Keep the territories alive. It's a bit like, you know, parts of the brain are allotted for different parts of the body. And it's a bit like having colonies, I think. Keep the colonies going. Maybe, you know, as a Brit, I think colonies should be going. I don't know. All right, so let's see if we can open that leg out to the side and we get a nice stretch to the inner thigh. If you want to make this a little wider, you'll stretch it even more. It's up to you. Sit up as tall as you can, so weight even on the sit bones. Feeling very noble. And then we can add to the cross-body stretch by taking the opposite arm, reaching out, reach the fingers, turn the head, and breath. All your favorite colors, scents. Bring this leg in a little bit, crisscross the other hand to hold, and enjoy our twist. So now we're opening in the other shoulder, but the twist is giving a lovely massage to your belly. So we bring it all the way back into center. Now, have we got time? Yeah, just a little bit. So still with the same foot, you can come into a seated tree pose. A seated tree pose, just placing the foot anywhere along the leg that feels okay, and gently brushing out the thigh. Don't press on your knee, the seat of the chair. Let's sit up nice and tall, and let's just be this beautiful, your favorite tree. Oh, apple blossoms. Nice to feel that you're like an apple blossom tree. I feel like I'm wearing an Easter bonnet that's over decorated, but it's beautiful. And the birds are hovering around and singing. Oh, lovely. All right, let's bring that down. And we will do our stretch sequence on the other side. So hook up a foot, flex at your hip joint, give you a little more room to stretch out at the knee. And then sitting up as tall as you can with relaxed shoulders. Staying present with the sensation at the back of the knee. Maybe you feel it opening. And then we could get a nice opening sensation into the inner thighs by taking one leg a little to side and the other leg. Oh, nice stretch here. Okay, remember to sit tall. Breath. And if you want the diagonal stretch from fingers to toes, open out the other arm, turn, and feel this big long line from the hand to the opposite foot. And you can sense what the shape of the line looks like. If you had to draw it, would you do it? Let's bring the limbs back and crisscross them over. Great for brain health, right? When we do the crisscross over the center line. And we're ready for a twist. And a few deep breaths. Remember, the exhale is vital. We're really getting the belly in and squishing on the organs. And it'll allow for maybe a more expansive inhale. Super, let's bring everything back into center and be a marvelous tree. You might gently brush out the thigh. You're trying to rotate this leg a little outward, brushing it out so that we're comfortable to do that. And then be and breathe your tree. Full of spring life. All right, let's release it and put 2 feet back onto the ground, a little wider, circling it out just to finish. You can even add a little push of the hand and a wiggle of the shoulders, any direction you like, all movements. So let's see if we can just find our centered selves. Sitting nice and tall, and our hand to the belly and our hand to the heart. Sense your center. And then breathe around it. We can bring the hands to the heart, and I'll wish you a super happy spring day. Thank you. I'm glad to see people today. It's so nice to see lovely people.